Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're talking about kind of an interesting story coming out of the LEC, and this one involves Rekkles and where he could potentially be playing going forward into the future in 2023, and who maybe one of his teammates could be as well. Now, I know in the past a lot of people have speculated, myself included, and I've been a part of spreading this around and everything, that Perkz maybe has not ever really been so interested in playing with Rekkles, and maybe that they didn't get along. Maybe they did get along, but just not in game, because it does seem like just like Rekkles had a lot of issues when he played at G2 with guys like Caps and Yankos, and kind of their play styles having some issues. It sounds like they maybe had some out of game issues as well. Not that they like hated Rekkles or thought he was a bad person or whatever, but that just everything kind of how they wanted to live and practice and scrim and play and everything just didn't work out together. And obviously Perkz is from that same school of thought from Yankos and Caps and those guys. They all played together. They were all on the same teams, the same ecosystems. They all think about the game pretty similarly, and that's why they were able to be so successful during their time together. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that if Rekkles did not mesh well with Caps and Yankos, that he probably wouldn't mesh well with Perkz as well. And then there's also been clips in the past of Perkz, people saying, hey, you going to play with Rekkles soon? Or, oh, Rekkles to this team or that team or whatever. And Perkz always being like, no, or no, no thanks, or stuff like that. So it just seemed like Perkz never really had any interest in things like this. And then people, kind of were acting like that this was a legitimate thing going forward in the future. But I also do think that this was a thing in the past, but I do think it's also possible that things change. People change, things change, relationships change. Maybe Rekkles and Perkz start talking again. Who knows what the heck? Or maybe Perkz just realized, hey, I didn't make playoffs this last split. Maybe I could use the help of some different players. Maybe I thought Alfari was the answer. Maybe I thought Karzi was the answer. Whatever. Maybe it's time to give Rekkles a try. I don't know. But people have been speculating a ton that Vitality Rekkles with Perkz, with Bo, with a lot of these other guys could be really, really fun and exciting, especially now that Rekkles is available. Obviously, it seems like KC, if they get into the LEC, they want to replace him with Hansama, and if they don't get in the LEC, then Rekkles will want to leave. So it seems like Rekkles is going to be available, and also Vitality is probably going to have a bot lane position open. Karzi wasn't that impressive during the 2022 season. He has tweeted out that he's been allowed to explore his options for 2023, but really all the Vitality players have been, so I don't really think that means anything necessarily, but it could show something. Anyway, that is all to say that recently an interesting thing has been going on where both Rekkles and Perkz have been streaming a lot recently, talking about Worlds. It's off season for them, and they've both been talking about Worlds. Rekkles has been live viewing a lot of Worlds games, yada, 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 and they've been popping in each other's chats as of late. This thread was on the League of Legends homepage, 3,500 upvotes, Perkz in chat and Rekkles making fun of G2's draft against EG, and honestly, this might be one of the biggest transgressions that has kind of brought Perkz and Rekkles together as of late as well. Maybe their hatred, or I don't know if hatred is a word, but kind of negative things that have happened between Perkz and Carlos and Rekkles and Carlos. Rekkles says he did not like how he was treated on the way out of G2. He didn't want them to get any money for him. He says it felt like they didn't want him to go to the teams that he wanted to go to, or he knows they didn't want him to go to the teams they wanted to go to. So he definitely did not have a great relationship with G2 and Carlos on the way out. And obviously we know what has happened with Perkz and Carlos. But this was in a recent stream, obviously against G2 and JDG, where they were making fun of their draft. And we can see here right at the beginning, Perkz, LOL, Draven Thresh plus Lee Sin in 2022 Worlds.
Draven Thresh Lee Sin in Worlds? Yeah. Lee Sin plus Thresh Omega Lul. Thresh with Guardian, by the way, did you see? Strong side Thresh with Guardian. Picking Thresh when Pyke and Nautilus was open, actually, as well.
So they're just kind of making fun of their draft, but also, it seems like they are kind of having a friendly conversation overall. He's like, hey, did you see this? Like they're actually trying to go back and forth. And I think this is kind of funny. And if you look, I've had many other clips come up across, like my YouTube and Twitter and Reddit and all over the place, people sharing things with me. Here's another one. Rekkles and Perkz discuss Fnatic draft versus C9, where not only is Perkz popping up in Rekkles' chat from time to time, Rekkles is also popping up in Perkz' chat as well. Now, I'm not saying that they're popping up in each other's chats because Rekkles is going to Vitality, and like I'm not trying to confirm that or anything like that, but I am saying at least to confirm that they seem to be friendly with each other. It seems to at least be a possibility that they could play together in the future. Now again, just because you're friends with somebody, just because you are exchanging some messages, just because you're watching each other's streams, supporting each other's content, whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that you want to play together or think that you would be a good fit together or think that it would make sense or you'd do well or whatever. Perkz could, be nice to Rekkles and want to be friends with him or want to talk with him or whatever. They're two very, very popular players. They're well known. They're big streamers. They're big content creators, and still think that, hey, maybe me and Rekkles playing together wouldn't be that big, wouldn't be that successful. But then again, like I said, he thought that the roster they had put together on Vitality would be successful, and obviously, he wasn't necessarily correct about all that. It didn't really work out that well. And all of a sudden, Perkz is looking for an AD carry potentially onto Vitality, and Rekkles is looking for a home as well. Now, I think that this would make a ton of sense for them. We know Perkz is he can play everything in the mid lane. It's not like there's any champions that Perkz can't play, but he obviously likes to carry games. He likes to, be vocal and let everyone know, his style of play. He said that before, like, I need the players to play my style. I need to have players around me that are going to listen to me and do what I want to do and that type of thing. He just says, I've played a lot of successful League of Legends over my career. I have a good idea of what's going on. But he also likes to carry and likes to win and likes to play aggressive and fast. And then having another player like Rekkles on his team to, maybe not need as many resources, maybe playing a little safer, playing a little more risk averse, and allowing other players like Perkz to have more resources and stuff like that. And then on this specific Vitality team, I don't necessarily know if they're going to be bringing back Alphari next year or not just yet. There have been some rumors that they could maybe be looking at other top laners. Maybe they could be moving on from Alphari. Maybe Alphari's leaving. Who knows? But even just in a vacuum, say they did bring back Alphari, having a very, very lane-oriented carry-style top laner who wants a ton of resources and attention in the early game, could also fit very, very well with having the weak side king in Rekkles in the bot lane being able to scale up and go to, mid to late game team fights where Alphari sometimes falls off or struggles in those mid to late game team fights and converting some of those leads and everything. Having that reliability of Rekkles there could work very, very well together with them as well. And then also Bo being a guy who seems like he wants to come in and be a big time carry, a big time aggressive player, big time, fast in your face, resource heavy jungler. And if you do have that less resource intensive AD carry and then being able to, pack on a little bit more onto your jungle, that could be very, very good as well. Because so far what we've seen from Bo and solo queue is that he can definitely carry games when he gets ahead, when he gets a lead. Who knows exactly how that's going to carry over to, modern day competitive play. I know he's played some competitive in the past, but it is very, very interesting. But I do think that this is at least a very, very big update that Perkz and Rekkles, they've been popping in each other's chats. They've been talking. It seems like they're friendly. It seems like their relationship is probably better than it once was. I don't ever know how bad it was or anything like that. I'm sure it was exaggerated. Perkz says, hey, it was just social media. People were making too big of a deal of the things that have been said in the past and all that stuff. But again, Rekkles had previously said that he did not want to play with Rekkles, or Perkz had previously said that he didn't want to play with Rekkles. Now, all of a sudden, things seem to have changed this offseason. He seems to be singing a different tune. Is that because he is about to be playing with Rekkles, or that he's open to the idea, hoping he gets an opportunity to play with Rekkles? I don't know for sure, but we're going to find out very, very soon. And I know I would love to see a pairing of Perkz and Rekkles together, be a popular, fun team with a big, big fan base. And I honestly think that they would be pretty successful together overall. I do think Rekkles is better than Carzzy. I think he'd be an upgrade for Team Vitality and maybe even able to get them into the playoffs. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. But until then, peace.